Doc Jam,
Yes,
we can start
we
na.
are live now. Live in
Okay.
Hush already. So good afternoon, everyone. This is a class on strengthening your immunity using Young Living essential oils and essential oil infused products. Just a short introduction about me, for especially for those who are new. I am Dr. Jamine Cruz-Nalumen. I'm a certified with Young Living. I have been oiling since June of 2017, and I am a clinical pathologist by profession. So, part of what I do is I teach our medical students about pathology and immunity. So that's why this is kind of a hobby of mine to also teach oilers about immunity and how you can support them. And then let me turn over the mic to Erlyn so she can give a short introduction about herself.
Ayun. Hi, good afternoon everyone. So, I'm Erlene. I'm from Davao City. I've been an oiler since September 2017. So, that's almost 3 years ago. Um, I'm a banker by profession. Pero, aside from that is oiling and soon to be plantita. So, this class is with Doc James, so I'll be the one to make the blends later. So,
Right. Uh, so what we'll be doing is I'll be discussing some introduction about our immune system, and and then I'll give you some tips or some facts that I found along the way, both in my profession and also in the oiling world. So, what is immunity? In the medical world, there are two types of immunity. So we have innate, or what you call something that's natural, and also what you call, and there's the other one, there's the adaptive or the humoral. So what's the difference? Usually the innate or the natural immunity, these are protections that are provided by barriers such as our skin, the mucosa in our mouth, in our intestines. Um, there are also types of cells that work for the innate immunity. Most of them are non-specific. So, which means that every time they see anything or they identify anything that's not part of the body, they would attack it as foreign. So, these are the neutrophils, the macrophages. And then there is the other part, which is the humoral or the adaptive immunity. So with this kind of immunity, it's more powerful because it's more specific and it involves the antibody production of our body. So what happens is that when the innate immunity part reacts, it also activates the humoral immunity. So the advantage of humoral immunity, aside from being specific, is that it's for more long term. Meaning, if you get attacked again later on by the same pathogen, your humoral immunity would kick in faster and produce the specific antibodies faster. So that's the simple term. Now, what about health? So usually health, we define this as something as the absence of disease. However, here in Young Living, we work more on the wellness. So your health could also be wellness, or the simplest way is to define it as the absence of disease. But since wellness is our business, I'll go more into that, and I'll also go more into the frequencies because that also matters later on. Okay, so
Doc,
what causes these?
Doc,
Yeah, hello.
saglit lang.
Yes.
I think maraming comments putol-putol daw.
Oh,
Maybe you should shift connections.
again,
Again,
yes.
yes.
I'll try to
Tapos, can everybody else who are not speaking, turn off your videos, please?
Is this better?
Sige daw, salita ka daw.
So what did you miss? Wait lang. Let me check.
I think that's better, no? Yeah. Better audio as well. Sige daw, magsalita ka.
Okay. So ano ba na-miss? Again,
Yan.
again, again.
Again,
Repeat.
again, again.
So definition of immunity. There are two kinds of immunity. You have the innate or cellular. You also have the adaptive or the humoral. For the innate or cellular, these are usually protective barriers that we have in our body, such as the skin, the mucosa, in our mouth, in the intestines. There are also cells that would immediately act on anything that is not the self or not part of the body. So we would identify it as foreign. And these cells would attack those foreign bodies, such like for if they identify a bacteria or a virus, they or a virus infected cell, they would attack those. So what are those cells? Neutrophils, you have the macrophages. For those who have been having their complete blood counts done, usually and the neutrophils, they are the ones that are higher in number when you look at your differential count, even for normal, because they are the first cells that would act when there is a foreign something that is identified. Now, what about the innate or the adaptive? For the innate or adaptive, this is the more powerful part of the immune system because this is where the antibodies are being produced. So what happens is once your innate immunity identifies the foreign bodies, it would activate the humoral immunity and produce antibodies. So aside from the humoral immunity being more specific for that pathogen, is also more powerful in terms of it can be for longer term. Also, ano ba? It acts faster. For example, you get infected now, and then years later you encounter the same pathogen, your body would produce the antibody specific to that pathogen much faster than having the innate immunity identify it as foreign and then activate the humoral. So ganun siya. That's how the immune system works, or the gist of it, the oversimplified kind of explanation for our immune system. If you've been to a previous class of mine on how the immune system works, it's actually much, much more complicated. Anyway, okay, what about health? So how do we define health? Usually we define health as the absence of disease. However, here in Young Living, since we are working more on the wellness part, our health is actually can be defined by our wellness, which is when you are well, you don't have any disease, or there's minimal disease in our body. So what causes disease? Yeah, for example, you have a break in your immunity barrier. You have a break in your skin. Pwede, when your skin breaks, um, there can be bacteria that can come in and wreak havoc in your body. Um, a lot of times, for example, if you like to play outside, you get a nasty scrape after falling from the bike. I would always advise that you consult the surgeon because the tetanus is prevalent in the environment. Na if you get scrapes, especially the very deep ones, you might have to get anti-tetanus. So that is one part. However, under the barrier, there are still cells that can help protect you. But if your barrier is very damaged, of course, you will need um, other things to help you with that. Okay, so the foreign, the invader, enters the body, and then other ways that can cause disease is something that we're very much familiar with in terms of when we are teaching about wellness. So, our chronic exposure to toxins can also produce disease in our body because they would promote excessive production of free radicals. And the free radicals, although we have naturally occurring antioxidants in our bodies, if there are too much free radicals in our bodies, there would be a lot of DNA damage. So what happens when there is DNA damage? I guess the most minor thing that could happen is that you feel older, you look older, so we actually age faster, and nobody wants that. I'm sure you don't want to be a 30-year-old who feels like a 60-year-old. The opposite is what we want. We want to be a 60-year-old who feels like a 30-year-old, correct? So, the other end of the spectrum of a DNA damage is something that nobody of us wants to have, and that is cancer. Because when there is constant DNA damage, your cellular makeup is constantly rearranged, and eventually there are mutations that couldn't be corrected anymore, which leads to the formation of cancer cells. Another kind of disease is when your immune system attacks yourself. So, what happens there? There is an overactive response of the immune system to a certain trigger, and then that trigger causes your immune system to get confused, and then eventually it will attack your own cells, and that is what we call the autoimmune disease. So that's just a simplification of the disease. Uh, syempre, I'm trying to make this as layman as possible. Anyway, all of that implies that there is an alteration in the programming of the human body to protect itself. All right. So let's go back to the concept of wellness. So we want to be able to support our body such that our immune system is able to work at the normal level, and that normal level is our level of protection. And here I want to discuss a bit about frequencies. Um, if you type in frequencies in the search box of our group in Hush Angels or in All Good Things, you'll be able to find different discussions on frequencies. But the gist of it is that the normal body operates at a frequency of 62 to 68 megahertz. So that's the healthy frequency. Right? So when we say something about being above the wellness line, this is your wellness line. So we try to operate above the wellness line. And then the problem is if there are any breaks in the barriers, or for example, there is too much fluctuation in your frequency, that is when there is a lot of turbulence and it starts to cause some kind of cellular breakdown. So parang if you imagine frequencies, parang we just want to have a good relaxed wave that's operating between the 62 to 68 megahertz. However, where there's a lot of stress, when we're exposed to a lot of stress, parang the frequency could be uh, goes up, goes down, ganyan. So it's very turbulent. So even if for example, yung sa water mo, yung sa faucet, if your Water flow is very good. It's very efficient. So you are able to get um, a lot of water without much turbulence. Unlike if your faucet has some kind of stock up, you're going to need a lot of pressure to get the water out, and then there's so much turbulence that you are not getting the efficient amount of water that you need. So it's something like that. Um, so same with our bodies. We want to be able to operate in healthy, non-turbulent kind of frequency. And then once you have that turbulent, that cellular breakdown begins. And usually when you reach your body frequency at about 60 megahertz or less, that is when illness begins. In fact, when you reach the 58 megahertz, that's already you already feel colds. You get the sniffles. And then at 57, that's the flu-like symptoms. And then if you go much lower, when you stay at the 42 megahertz frequency, that is when cancer begins. Now, what is the relationship of frequency and oils? Again, when you type in the search box the frequency, you will also find that each oil has a certain kind of frequency. And those frequencies, in when the oil has about 46 to 78 megahertz of frequency, that's usually the kind of oil that is able to harmonize and balance the physical body. So it works mostly on the structural and physical changes. If you go any higher than that, that's usually more emotional. And then the highest frequency in all of the oils is found with the Idaho Blue Spruce, which has a frequency of 518 megahertz. So personally, when I am really not feeling well and have to be able to get back on my feet as fast as possible, I would take a bath using Idaho Blue Spruce in Epsom salt, just so I could target the probably low magnesium in my body, plus increasing the frequency to a higher level. So that is how it works. Before I go to the different um, okay, before I go to the different blends that could target different situations, I would like to give you or to show you this short video on how essential oils work in terms of its chemical constituents. So I already discussed the part on how they work in terms of frequency, but I also want you to get to know them in terms of how to um, how the chemical constituents work in the essential oils. Okay. Oops. Okay, here. Yeah. All right. So those are the different chemical constituents. And now we will go to the different situations. So first, we would want to support our normal immune system. And if you recall, before we have released the Daily Essentials kit. Uh, yeah, sorry. There's something wrong with the screen. Um, I can show it again, but I will have to transfer host to someone else because all of the pop-ups are blocking the screen. Wait lang ah. Again. Okay, let me show it again. There. So just a review. The phenols, these are antibacterial, antivirals, and they are very good cleaners. And the oils that were mentioned are anise, clove, basil, oregano, thyme, and cinnamon. So if you review the different collections, I think a lot of these oils are present in the raindrop technique kit. And then next, the monoterpenes. These are the healers, and um, they are the grapefruit, frankincense, pine, peppermint, and especially frankincense. This is a very good DNA corrector. And then finally, the sesquiterpenes. These are oils that efficiently deliver oxygen to the cells, and they are also erasers. So if you have issues in the DNA coding, they remove those mutations. And these oils are cedarwood, vetiver, sandalwood, ginger, myrrh, and black pepper. So let's go to the different protocols. So first off, if you're not feeling sick, of course, you would want to support your normal immune system. Um, why would you need support? Because our, our bodies are made to actually deal with these stresses in the world. However, lately it's like there's more stress than we are able to manage. So we need all the help that we can get. So how do we support our normal immune system? If you recall, Young Living released a daily essentials kit, and that's actually a very good kit to have in terms of supporting what is normal. The oils that are very helpful in there are thieves, RC, and lemon. Thieves has a high frequency. It has a frequency of 150 megahertz, and RC has a frequency of 75 megahertz. So if you recall, I mentioned earlier that for oils that have a frequency of 46 to 78 megahertz, they are very good in harmonizing and balancing the physical body. And they target the structural and physical changes. And then lemon is very high in D-limonene. And Erlin will demonstrate for us what is a good recipe in using these three oils. Erlin, nakamute ka pa. Kat, pa-unmute please.
Teka lang ha. Ba't ayaw?
Or
Ikaw daw rin.
pwede mo na i-transfer ulit sa akin yung host para ano.
Okay. Ako ba ang
Wala
host?
na akong, oo.
Oh, sorry.
Kasi kanina sa video, nagpa-pop up yung ano, yung stuff.
Okay. Ayan na. You're the host
Ayan.
na.
Okay.
Ayun. Okay. So, our first blend for this afternoon is yung Doc mentioned earlier. It's part of our daily essential kit. So, for this blend, I'm using 5 ml roller bottle. So, here. Immune support number 1. So, for the tips, we'll have, since this is 5 ml, so tips, we need to drop 5 drops of tips. So, here, 1, 2, 4, 5. Then we have RC, respiratory comfort. We need 3 drops of RC. So, 1, 2, 3. So RC is not only for immune support, but this is good for respiratory support as well. And the last oil in our blend is lemon. So we need 3 drops of lemon. 1, 2, 3. So to review, we have 5 drops of thieves, 3 drops RC, and 3 drops lemon. And then we need to fill this with carrier oil of your choice. So Young Living has V6 carrier oil, which is good, safe for the kids and for those with sensitive skin. I'm using a mix of grape seed and sunflower. Di makita. Oh, yeah. So this is our first blend. Here, immune support. So how do we use this? Um, Normally, for the immune blends, we use this day and night and apply it to the soles of our feet. So why apply it to the soles of the feet? Because our feet has bigger, what do you call that, Loki? Bigger pores that it quickly absorbs the
Pores.
oils. And it is our, ano ba yan? It is our, parang yung Vita Flex points. So, when we say Vita Flex points, it's nearly connected to each organ of the body that we want to address. So, that's the first blend, immune support blend number 1, using daily essential kit oils.
Thank you, Erlene.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah. Step one, we want to be able to support our normal immune system. And then step two, of course, as I said, we are being bombarded by a lot of stresses, a lot of toxins, especially in the past how many years. I mean, I'm sure we all went through the phase wherein we love to avail of those buy one take one 1 liter shampoos and 1 liter body wash, because it was so cheap and they smell so good. But apparently the stuff in there are not very good for our bodies. And the thing is, whatever you apply on your skin is directly absorbed into your bloodstream. Even though I said that the skin is a barrier, when it comes to chemicals, it's not. It's a highly absorbent organ. And imagine that the skin is the largest organ in our body. And if you apply all of those things on the largest organ of your body, you are also absorbing a whole lot of chemicals that you don't really want. And sometimes they would tell you na, oh, the chemical is in there is 0.01%. However, you have to think of it as more of a cumulative thing, because it's something you apply on your body. It goes directly to your organs. It gets stored in the organs. So you get accumulation of toxins into your organs that are going to mess with your cellular makeup. So what's the next step? After the daily essentials protocol, the next step is the premium starter kit protocol. As I mentioned, the oil frankincense is a very good DNA corrector. It's a healer. It's high in monoterpenes. And we also want to be able to support our bodies with more antioxidants. So the oils in the immune blend for the premium starter kit is thieves, frankincense, and lemon. Plus, we highly recommend daily intake of 1 to 2 ounces of Ningxarit. So with regards to the blend, let's go back to Erlin.
So here's our second blend. So the earlier blend, we will just replace our stick with frankincense. So we will first drop 5 drops of thieves again to a 5 ml roller bottle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And next we have our favorite frankincense. So we need 3 drops of frankincense. Frankincense is one of the most expensive oils in Young Living. 1, 2, 3. Because it's sourced from the source is not so, English pa to. The source is not so common, and then this is one of the oils in the Bible as well. Gift ni Jesus. Our third oil in this blend is lemon. So we need 3 drops of lemon. 1, 2, 3. And then we fill this again with carrier oil. Yan. Okay, there we go. So our second blend is done. So this is using the oils in the premium starter kit. So, by the way, our premium starter now, di ba? The desert mist is temporary unavailable. So we have our dew drop, and we have the kids' favorite and also the mom's favorite, si Feather the Owl. Yun. If in case you need a second kit, or you have a friend na you wanted to share our oil, so it's very nice. So this is the second blend again. Thank you.
And again, I would like to repeat the Ningxia Red. In the premium starter kit, there are 2 sachets of Ningxia Red in the basement. And each sachet has 2 ounces. So you only need actually 1 ounce per day. Although it tastes so good na mauubos mo isang sachet which has 2 ounces. So that's a very good antioxidant support for your daily exposures to toxins and stress. So, what is the next step? What if, okay, you've been exposed to a lot of toxins, you're exposed to a lot of stress, and then your body frequency goes down and you experience colds and flu. So, we have the next step wherein we are incorporating oils that are high in phenols, also high in monoterpenes. So, si phenols, again, these are antibacterial and antiviral. Tapos yung monoterpenes are healers. So, syempre, if you are sick, you would need healers and you would need the cleaners. So, the next protocol is what we call the cold and flu bomb.
Ayan, back to me. So this recipe contains a lot of essential oils. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 7 oils. Oregano. Ayun. Sorry for the background.
Yes, donut.
May nagbabenta donut pilipit. What's that? Donut pilipit, whatever. Donut, butchi, pilipit, yun. Baka puntahan ako dito. Ayun. So, this is our third blend. So, as mentioned by Doc Jam earlier, so what if nagkasakit ka na? So, this is the flu and cold bomb roller. So, we need, I'll open it. We need, medyo pure to siya na blend kasi madaming drops ang kailangan. This is very well tested and proven. So, we need 10 drops. Ayun, nag-increase na ang drops. 5 ml bottle, we need 10 drops of thieves. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we need 5 drops of Melrose. So, Melrose also is not only for immune support. This is also best used for our drops ito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also good to diffuse, especially like now that our kids are homeschooling or nasa bahay lang nag-aaral. You need to diffuse this kasi Melrose will help yung sa radiation ng mga gadgets, computers, mga wifi natin. Yan. Then the next oil is frankincense. So we need 5 drops of frankincense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next oil is rosemary. So rosemary is also good for your memories. So how do you determine number of drops per oil? What do you mean? How do you determine number of drops per oil? 5 drops rosemary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next oil is basil. So we need 5 drops of basil. Basil is one of the oils sa raindrop technique natin. Yan, the art of blending, sabi ni Doki. 5 drops of basil. Medyo matapang to na oil ah. It's a hot oil, so be careful lang, especially with kids, kung may kids kayo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Next oil is thyme. This one also is in our raindrop technique set. So 5, ay, no, 3 drops of thyme. Oh. 1, 2, 3. This is very high in phenol. So, antibacterial oil. Our last oil is oregano, which is also a hot oil. Also a part of our raindrop technique na set. So, 2 drops. 1, 2. Ayan. So, a total of ilang drops? Sinong sa math? Ilang drops na yun lahat ng EOs? So, we have 7 oils total for this blend. And then, we fill this with carrier oil. So, this one is almost nasa 1/3 siya ng bottle. Yung EO. Ayan. Then, how do we apply this? The same lang din earlier that we apply it the soles of the feet. And then, since you have colds na and flu, you apply it frequently. Like, you can apply it 3 times a day or even 2 times a day. Ayan. So, we're done. We're done with the colds and flu blend. Ayan. Alin yung hindi 5? Ang hindi 5 is thyme. Thyme 3 lang and oregano 2. Ayan. So, we're done.
Okay, so there were questions na ano daw pwedeng substitute. Unfortunately, walang substitute.
Walang sub.
It's very, very unique to that oil. And then, you can sub tea tree for members if you don't have members. Now, Erlyn mentioned that the oils here are super dami, or you have about 1/3 of
The
the
bottle.
essential oils and 2/3 na carrier.
Carrier.
So this is only going to be used when you are symptomatic. And how do you use it? You can apply it every 1 to 2 hours, and while you are symptomatic. And then if you want to use this blend instead as your immune support blend that they use, I would suggest just use 1/3 of the number of drops of essential oils. Okay, the roller bottles that Erlyn is using is 5 ml. They're all 5 ml. And then you can also diffuse, of course. However, that's a lot of oils. And usually in the diffuser, we would only recommend to use 2 to 3 oils maximum. Kasi you could get overwhelmed with the smell or the scent. If you want to use this exact blend in the diffuser, I would recommend you create a master blend, which is using the number of proportion of the essential oils and no carrier oil. Tapos yun na yung gagamitin mo, the idadrop sa diffuser. If you don't have RC, you can use Raven, but warning with Raven, it has wintergreen. So if you plan to use this, do not use this topically in children less than 13 years old. Anything else? Recipe ng blend number 3. Ilan nga ulit, Erlin? Can you repeat?
Blend number three, so flu and cold roller. So we have 10 drops Steves, 5 drops ng Melrose, 5 drops frankincense, 5 drops rosemary, 5 drops basil, 3 thyme, and 2 oregano. Yun.
Thank you.
The blend is for adults.
Yes, this is
For adults. For adults to na recipe.
Again, if you're gonna use this for kids, you cut the recipe by 1/3. Oregano is actually safe for breastfeeding moms. Just don't apply it near the breast. So you can apply it on the bottoms of your feet. Any other questions? So for Jing, yes, layering is a very good technique in terms of applying the oils because as you mentioned, each oil has their own frequency. So parang the sequence of the RDT matters in terms of what the frequency of the oils are, what the chemical constituents are. So it's a technique that was developed by Gary Young, and the technique itself is very effective. Um, but what we are doing here is yung parang shortcut kasi not all have the luxury of experiencing the raindrop technique or being trained to perform the raindrop technique. So what we are teaching you here are roller blends that you can easily use with, well, not exactly the same effect, but maybe almost approaching the same effect as what the RDT can do. What else? So let's move on. I usually the cold and flu bomb, I like to recommend this for people who are feeling under the weather and they are at home and they're not ano yun, parang they're still okay. So, however, not all people will be able to manage their illness as well as one with a good immune system that is intact. So the next step is when we have relatives, or actually when my husband has patients that are admitted in the ICU, and what we do is we give them the raindrop in a bottle. So parang yun na. So next step na. Cold and flu bomb are for people who are nursing their illness at home or as an outpatient. But when you have a patient who is admitted, you also have to do a step up. So raindrop is a very good technique, as I said, um, and we cannot do the raindrop inside the hospital. Syempre, parang the setting is not very good. And you can't also do it with your patient na nakadapa. So what we do is we get the formula of the raindrop in a bottle. We place it in a bottle and then we roll it on the Vitaflex points of the spine of an admitted patient. So Erlin, paano yung RD in a bottle?
RDT. So this is actually I'm not sure, Doc, no, if it's okay to use even if you're not in the hospital. But this is my favorite immune support blend.
Parang ano lang, parang recommended lang siya as a step up from the cold and flu bomb. But sometimes, syempre, for veteran oilers, they actually like to use the RDT in a bottle. And yun nga, sometimes people would ask, na what if naka-admit, anong pwedeng gamitin? So ito yung pwede mong gamitin.
So, before I proceed sa raindrop in a bottle, as veterans, veterans kagad, veterans, this is medyo non-compliant lang konti, no? So, sa flu and cold bumps kasi, we also like to, at ako, I prefer to take yung flu bump capsule as well. So, here's my recipe for the flu bump capsule. So, we use yung empty na vegetable capsule. So, I take it 3 times a day. So, meron siyang laman na 4 drops of leaves, 4 drops of lemon, 3 drops oregano, and 2 drops of frank. So, aside doon sa roller bottle. Okay. So, let's proceed with the mini raindrop in a bottle. So, I'll be again using 5 ml bottle. So, now, we'll be using 9 oils. 9 oils. So, the first oil is Valor. So, this one. Valor is our, this is for good for balance. Good also for if you have spine issues. This is also our courage in a battle. So, if you have children, like, meron silang recitals, merong program, kanyan. So, we just put Valor on their nape or dito sa wrist nila. So, lahat ng oils na i-mention ko, since this is a 5 ml bottle, tag 3 drops lang lahat. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9 oils all in all, tapos 3 drops each. So, the first is Valor. Sana may laman pa siya. Ito ang pinakagamit na oil sa akin everyday. Okay, then the next oil is basil. Here, basil. 1, 2, 3. Meron tayong raindrop technique na set. It's available in NFR. Yan, time. 1, 2, 3. It's available in NFR in 5 ml bottles. Nakaset na siya. And then, it has with it massage, 2 types of massage oils. So, next we have oregano. 1, 2, 3. Next we have peppermint. 1, 2, 3. Then, marjoram. 1, 2, 3. Then we have wintergreen. So, wintergreen is a component of our famous oil also na Panaway, yung which helps manage the pain, mga back pains, muscle pains, ganyan. Our next oil is cypress oil. So, this is for circulation also. So, 1, 2, 3. Mga numb natin sa legs kapag tired tayo. So, we can use this. Our last oil is aroma seeds. So, 3 drops. So, 1, 2, 3. So, 9 times 3 is a total of 27 drops of essential oils sa 5 ml roller bottle. Then, fill with carrier oil na naman. Okay. So, this is our 4th immune support blend. Ayan. We're done.
Okay, so we have a question here now. If when you use B6, when would be the expiry of the blend? So you are dependent on the expiry of the carrier oil. And B6 has a long shelf life. And what I do is, if you are not going to use the blend as often as you would like, just pop it in the ref, and that will be slow down the expiry. Okay. For an anti-inflammatory oil, that's an entirely different class, and there are different kinds of anti-inflammatory. So I think it's also posted in Hash somewhere. I'm not sure if we were able to post it live. But we can hold a class on the inflammation of the body later on kasi it's an entirely different class. Okay, so the 9 oils in the RDT, Erlin.
Sige, ulitin ko. The 9 oils are first Valor, then we have basil, thyme, oregano, peppermint, wintergreen, cypress, and aromaceas.
And
Yan.
Aroma Seas has been launched already in the Philippines and it's available on Click Order. Right. So again, as I said, this is for each blend, we are stepping up. And I mentioned earlier that the other end of the spectrum of DNA damage is something that we do not want, and that is the formation of cancer in the body. So there are a lot of people who get cancer in the body, and when you get cancer, I would highly recommend that you undergo the recommended treatment of your oncologist. But what we can do as Young Living members is to support your chemotherapy journey. So aside from unlimited Nishared, when you are sick, by the way, when you are feeling low, make sure that you take Nisha Red daily because the antioxidants will help a lot in making you feel much better. So anyway, for this next step, how to support your immune system when you are undergoing chemotherapy, wherein your immune system is literally shut down. So, as I said, unlimited Red. And then we will teach you this oil blend that is being recommended by a breast cancer survivor in saan ba siya? Oil Vibe ba? Or Oily Happy and Healthy?
Okay. So this would be the last blend. So pinaka highest case na to ng immune na compromise ang immune system natin. So for this medyo mas we will be requiring more drops of oils. And we will be using 6 oils. Okay, saglit while I prepare. Okay. So there's a question earlier, 5 ml ba daw talaga to? This is 5 ml. The bottle is just too thick and
It's a
frosted.
chubby. It's
Yes.
a chubby 5 ml.
So this bottle is medyo hindi siya mabilis mabasag. We've tried this na nahulog siya, hindi siya nabasag. The first oil that we will put is lemon. So 5 ml lemon oil. So we need 20 drops of lemon oil. 20 drops. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20. Ayun. And then we need 10 drops of frankincense. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bumalik yung donut puchi. So, 10 drops of frankincense. Walang
Bili ka na rin
bumibili.
ng donut.
Wala siguro kasi bumibili. Ang tamis, ang dami sugar. For veteran oilers as well, no, na merong mga like compromise ang immune system as well as doon sa may dito mga cancer patients, we ingest frankincense. How do we use it? We just drop it under the tongue, sublingual siya, because mas mabilis niyang ma-reach yung inyong, ang tawag yun to? Bakit nga sublingual? Kasi mas mabilis yung effect niya. Sa
It
bloodstreams
bypass
pala, oo. It will
it
reach your
bypass
bloodstreams.
liver the liver circulation and goes directly
Yes.
to your blood.
Bloodstreams kaagad. Next, we have oregano. Uh, 7 drops oregano. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. And we need the all-around immune support na recipe natin. Thieves, also 7 drops ng thieves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next is peppermint, 7 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last oil is tea tree, Melaleuca alternifolia. Kasi is antibacterial oil. So, 10 drops of tea tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. This is almost half of the bottle. And then we fill this up with carrier oil. Does the order of oils being placed matter? No, it doesn't. Hindi naman. Pero much better if, example, you will be using this daily, you make a master blend. So, what's a master blend? Um, you mix all these oils together in a bigger bottle. So, they will mag-synergy siya. And then, every time you use it, saka ka na lang kumuha and then put carrier oil. So, this is the last blend and we're done. Immune support number 5.
Okay. With regards to the raindrop in a bottle, the sequence matters because that technique was developed by Gary Young, and he found that the sequence that they go on into your blend also matters in terms of your frequency, yung parang overall frequency that you will achieve. And again, when you are blending oils, remember that each oil has their own chemical constituent. So when you add an oil and then you add the next oil, automatic the chemical constituent of your blend already changes. So there will be blends that the sequence will matter. Sa iba naman, it's not the chemical constituent but more of the scent. So, for example, if you find a recipe for perfumes, you will see that you have to follow the sequence of the when of which oil comes next because that affects the smell of your resulting perfume. Okay. So those are the 5-step protocols in terms of supporting your immune system for the different scenarios. Our resources, we have the essential oil desk reference, and you can also look into surviving when modern medicine fails. So there's also a book entitled that, which has a lot of essential oil protocols. It also has a version wherein you can look into the more of the nutrition, um, parang nutritional side of surviving modern medicine. So how do you use the last blend to support someone who is undergoing chemotherapy? When you are undergoing chemotherapy, it is recommended that you stop all oils 2 days before and then you restart 2 days after. So, ganun siya. So, what will you do in those 4 days na in between? Actually, 5 days, no? Uh, unlimited Ningshared. So, what you do with during those 5 days is you let your patient take unlimited Ningshared. You can also diffuse, but we will avoid topical and ingestion of pure essential oils during that time because we want to be able to let the chemotherapy do its work first before you employ the essential oils to start the cleanup. So ganun siya. And then why are we promoting the intake of Ninctared during chemotherapy? Because the antioxidants will help with the side effects of the chemotherapy. For dialysis patients, um, what exactly is the question? Edlin, for the Nishared, you can go beyond the 2 ounces because that's a lot of free radicals that's going on in the body for sure because of the treatment. So it needs a lot of support. For Teresa, which one are you referring to? Yung last blend, the fifth blend. Um, for dialysis patient, I would look first into what is causing the kidney failure. And then you will address the kidney failure. And you will address the underlying problem that is causing the kidney failure. And then immune support plan for kidney transplant, I would go with with the number 5 because when you are a transplant patient, you are also given immunosuppressants so that they will not attack the new organ. So I would go with the number 5. Is it not good to apply oils directly to the breast? Depend kung ano yung situation. But in general, for our immune system, ganito yan. Kasi our white blood cells, they are being produced in the bone marrow and in the thymus. However, when you are an adult, usually the thymus is super small na. And most of the T cell production is happening in the lymph nodes. So that is your target. So anong parts ng lalagyan mo? Mas okay si spine. So you apply on the spine to target the bone marrow. Um, kasi it's the most exposed, parang it's the most accessible uh, bony part of our body. And then the lymph nodes, you can apply on the back of the ears because we have lymph nodes here. And that will also help with supporting the immune system. What else? And then, anong pwede i-replace kay oregano? Sorry, wala din kasi oregano is a very unique oil in itself. For someone with allergic rhinitis, you can go with the basic lemon, lavender, and peppermint kung allergic rhinitis lang. And then best immunity blend for pregnant women. For preggy, medyo tricky yan kasi you're supposed to avoid rosemary and ano pa ba? Rosemary, which is included in the Thieves blend. So I would go with longevity. Ano siya? Yeah. So this is a very good oil to have for immune support for pregnant women kasi this has thyme, orange, clove, and frankincense. This is actually a very powerful blend to have. Another important blend that you can add to your arsenal is Immune Power. Yeah. So this is also a very good blend to use na as is. Okay, wait. Wait, ang daming questions. Hindi na ako nakaka-follow. I'll just scroll back ha. Wait lang, wait lang. Yan. So, how do you use the blend number 5 to support someone who is undergoing chemotherapy? Again, you apply it on the soles of the feet, preferably sa Vitaflex points ng spine. And you can do that every 1 to 2 hours, especially day 3 to 7 after chemotherapy. Pwede mo siyang i-apply ng ganun ka-often. And then, so a recap for blend 1, that is to support your normal immune system. Blend 2, if you are being exposed to a lot of toxins and stresses, so blend 2 is a good immune support blend. Blend 3 is the cold and flu bomb. So if you are feeling symptomatic, you have the colds, you have the flu, you can use the third blend every 1 to 2 hours. If you choose to use the third blend for your daily immune support, use only 1/3 of the recipe. For number 4, um, which is the raindrop in a bottle, veteran oilers like to use it as their daily immune support. But for the actual situation, we like to use it for patients who are admitted. And then blend 5 finally is for patients who are severely immunocompromised. So these are cancer patients, these are transplant patients. And again, the application is at the bottoms of the feet, in the spinal Vitaflex point. And yung with regards to application sa feet, if ganito siya, if you want the blend to work much, much faster, you apply it on the on the back of your ears and on your wrists, because that goes directly to your circulation. If you want it to work as parang slow release, na parang pagka when you apply it kasi on the back of your ears and your wrist, our blood circulation completes the circulation in 2 hours. So effectively, the essential oils will also be released from our body in 2 hours lang. But if you want a slow release, you put it on the bottoms of your feet and strain, parang for the aromatherapists, they say that when you apply it on the bottoms of the feet, parang it can last you for up to 8 hours. Parang slow release siya. Okay, what else? Yung sa question ni Maya, now is it not good to apply oils directly to the breast? If you are breastfeeding and you apply oregano on your breast, that's not going to be good for the baby kasi di ba they like to touch those parts. So if you are breastfeeding and you want to target your lungs, just apply it on your back. Have someone apply it on your back.
Ay. Meron
May
pa pala,
questions
oo,
ba?
may question. Blend number 1.
For those patients who have thyroid issues, um, again, you go by the same step by step. If the patient has thyroid issues but the immune system is intact, you can go with blend 1 or 2. But if meron na siyang symptoms, you can go with blend 3, which is the folate bulb. And then, what else? How often should it be applied for the breast cancer patient? As I said, the critical period is yung 3 to 7 days after the chemotherapy. You can apply the blend every 1 to 2 hours. And then for type 1 diabetes patients, again, since if they are severely immunocompromised, go with protocol number 5. The oils in blend number 1 are the oils in the Daily Essentials kit, which is thieves, RC, and lemon. And the last blend with clove is the one for the immunocompromised patient, which is the blend number 5. For 2.5-year-old baby with rhinitis, you can ask your enroller kung how many drops ang for that particular age kasi meron niyang computation. And it's very difficult to achieve unless you create a master blend. So when she do ask your enroller how to make a master blend and the specific dilution for that particular age. Allergic rhinitis and rosacea. You can go with protocol 2, diluted according to age. And then for thyroid cancer, same then. Go with protocol number 5 for immunocompromised. Patient with progressive supranuclear palsy. So you have to, ano yun? You go with, I think you can go with RDT. And then, since this is a nerve issue, add blue cypress. Ano pa ba? Okay, Erlyn, I think there are supplements, no, that are
Yeah.
also very good for immune support.
Yes, nakalimutan ko. We have supplements. First is Emu Pro, this one. This is a chewable supplement. This can be taken by kids and adults as well. This is best taken at night. Meron lang siyang konting side effect na syempre sa night siya iti-take kasi medyo patutulugin ka niya. So, we have to support our immune systems. We also need to get better sleep better sleep at night, early matulog, and then so this can help. So for kids, pwede na siyang half of the tablet. Okay. Then we also have inner defense here. Inner defense is actually this ang capsules ng inner defense are made of oils, essential oils din that we mentioned earlier. So ang component nito is that it has clove, lemon, eucalyptus, rosemary, cinnamon. Yun. So, kung ayaw nyong... Doki. Kulang pa, no?
May time.
Thyme. Oregano, thyme, rosemary, cinnamon, lemon. So, if you are feeling under the weather and you don't have yung oils na imimix-mix, you better have this one. So, mas madali siya. So, both Immune Pro and Inner Defense, pati yung Immune Power kanina, and Longevity Oils are available in NFR. So, meaning we can purchase it in the US. You ask your enrollers na lang how you will access the NFR.
So like for me, I still work in the hospital and inner defense is part of my daily supplement. Parang hindi ko na inaantay na magkasakit ako. Iniinom ko na siya. Okay. For blend number 5, yes, you can also use it for diabetics because they are considered immunocompromised. Okay. So we're already going on 1.5 hours now. Um, are there any more questions?
Because we have a different
Oh, Kat,
class.
ano daw, for pick-up daw.
Different
It's
class for
coming.
Picos.
It's coming. Abang-abang lang tayo, guys.
Abangan.
Coming. For Weng, um, I would suggest you undergo the treatment first for the type of thyroid cancer that you have, and then you use the oils. Kasi thyroid PA usually that is surgical treatment. So um, after the surgical treatment, you'll be given external hormones to replace the hormones that are supposed to be produced by your thyroid gland. Kaya it's better na you undergo the treatment first, and then we address the post-treatment issues with the oils along with your treatment. The supplements, yung ImmuPro, it has melatonin kasi. So, ang melatonin is not, parang it's not a good supplement to take every day because your body already produces natural melatonin. And if you introduce external melatonin every day, parang magiging dependent yung body mo on it such that your body might not produce the natural melatonin anymore. And it's going to be difficult for you to get a good sleep when you are dependent on that. Kaya mas okay na kung mag-ImmuPro ka, um, ano nga ba yun? For example, for allergies or allergic rhinitis, ImmuPro is not going to be a very good supplement kasi for usually yung mga allergies, it's a daily issue. So you go with the oils, and even LLP is very effective already for allergic rhinitis. And then don't forget the Red every day. And then is it okay to take supplements if wala na pong gallbladder? Yes, the supplements are okay because your gallbladder ano yun, stores bile, which is supposed to help you digest cholesterol and essential oils. And our essential oil infused supplements do not have cholesterol. Okay. So RDT for recovering from stroke. Yes, it's a good oil also for patients who are recovering from stroke, yung RDT. Kasi it targets the spine and your central nervous system. Yes, Joy, you can try Immupro for your father. And no, unfortunately, wala ring subsibasil. Parang these oils are chosen because they have their unique chemical constituents. In particular, unique percentage of chemical constituents that we are trying to target. Okay. Yes, Ningxia Red Daily is okay for allergies and allergic rhinitis. And then for those with COPD, again, COPD patients, they can be categorized as immunocompromised because their lungs are not working as properly as you would like. So you can use number 5. And blend number 5, everyday application for diabetic. Yes, you can. You can apply it every morning and night. And then for high blood pressure and fatty liver, you know what? You just need daily Ningxia Red with 1 drop of lemon twice a day. That's for for fatty liver. For high blood pressure, it's better if you use calming oils rather than kasi ito you also have to check if the cause of the high blood pressure is halimbawa you have blood vessels that are hardened from cholesterol. So that's an entirely different class again because that tackles the anti-inflammatory properties of the essential oils. And then those with the pacemaker, Even though the oils have their own frequency, they usually function within the frequency of the body. So it's not really going to affect the electrical impulses that are coming from the pacemaker. So you can use any blend depending on the situation. Your husband who is always sleepy, um, try rosemary and peppermint. Those are always good. And then inner defense supplement for allergies or allergic rhinitis. Yes, you can use that. You can use it daily. What else? All right. Um, okay, for gout, and again, Gwen, that's another class because gout is usually an inflammatory issue. All right. So if there are no more questions, I would like to invite everyone, especially those who are new to Young Living. We have a basics class on the compensation plan at 4 p.m., which is happening 20 minutes from now. So the link is also posted in Hush Angels and in Oil Good Things, if I am not mistaken. And if you have any more questions, since we are already nearing 2 hours, you can comment on the video in Hush, and I'll try to get back to you later on. All right. And for all of these questions, remember that you always have to um, consult with your physician in terms of kung ano yung treatment ninyo and kung ano yung diagnosis, because we do not treat or diagnose any disease. We are only here to help support your immune system and your wellness. All right, so let's end this session. Thank you, Erlyn, for the demos.
Ay, yung oils pala, Dok.
Ha?
Paano ba tong blend?
Ah, ano, gusto mo ipamigay?
Oo, pero Davao base lang. Kung meron, kasi para pagbiis
Alright,
ko
for
na.
all those who are in Davao, message Erlyn. Parang unahan na lang ha.
Unahan na lang.
Message si Erlyn kung ano yung blend na gusto niyong makuha sa mga
Yung
ginawa.
5. Oo.
And then, dun sa 5 na blend na yun. And then, just coordinate with her how you're going to get.
Yan, eto lahat.
Okay?
Pwedeng
So
big.
that's it. Thank you so much for joining our class. And again, we have a class on compensation plan at 4 p.m. And we hope you can also join us because we have an accountant, lawyer, who will be there na pwede nating tanong-talongin. Because, accounting. Yes.
Counting is an
Thanks,
art.
everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's an
Thanks for
art.
attending.
It's an art of...
It's an art of math.
Diba, Kat? Accounting is an art. So you adjust entries.
No, not
Thank you. See you sa 4 p.m. class.
bad.
Bye.